Welcome back to BaldHeaded Metal, guys, and welcome back to another reaction. This time, this has been highly requested for quite a while now. There's a lot of requests that I've been getting on this channel, so I try to pick the ones I've gotten from way back, some of the new ones, some of the ones I want to listen to, some of the things that kind of excite me, some of the things you guys are excited about. And this time around is to GALNERYUS song Destiny. From what I understand, it is a Japanese band, because I think I was asking for a more traditional Japanese band. I was given this particular name. So I want to check out, see what they're all about, see if they're good, see if I like them. If you're new to this channel, you're a fan of this band, just be prepared that I might not like it, or at the very least I might have some criticisms about it. I try to be as polite as I can be in what I'm thinking, and so at the very least you know where I'm coming from, and we can create a conversation around that. With that being said, let's get into the video. Yeah, we got some neoclassical power metal, looks like. Yeah, this right away reminds me of Loudness, the Japanese band. Although this is more leaning into neoclassical, and I think that was more like traditional Japanese, well, I should say traditional metal in a Japanese style. But they do have similarities a little bit in sound, and maybe it's just that Japanese sound. But man, these guys are freaking shredding it just from the beginning. Another band this reminds me of is actually Dragon Force. Like the Japanese Dragon Force, which to anybody who's familiar with this channel has been watching a lot of the videos, especially surrounding power metal. I'm not a big fan of neoclassical power metal bands. And that being said, this is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, it's never been my style. Mainly because I don't get turned on by the shredding. I recognize the skill, but I've never been turned on by the shredding, and it's kind of becomes the centerpiece of the song. But here it's also kind of backed up by the vocals. I think he has really nice vocals. Again, not something I particularly would gravitate towards, but you can't help but the musicianship of these guys already. I do want to see some change-ups in the song and see how kind of it progresses. Perhaps it's going to capture me more through as it kind of goes on. Yeah. That's been the case with every single band I've checked out from Japan so far, man. Every single one of them can really play, and it's just like on a different level. But it also becomes a preference, like a taste of a preference, right? What you prefer, what you like, what's up your alley, what's not up your alley. You guys seem to like bands who are simpler and seem to have very simple, strong song structure. I love them. It's some very advanced song structure and might not like them. They might be heavy, I don't like them. They might be like, it's just, there is no formula. It's just, I don't always, there's sometimes even I'm surprised that I like something. For example, I reviewed Infected Rain this week, and it's like new metal mixed in with electronic music mixed in with melodic death metal. That's a formula for me not to like. honestly, if I think about it, if somebody told me that on paper that's what they're all about, I would not listen to them. But I was given an advanced review copy. I saw they're from Moldova, kind of homeland where I come from. I said, you know what? I'll give it a chance, see what it's all about. And I was really surprised. And I think that's important to do. And that's kind of why I do some of these bands that I think are out of my wheelhouse or comfort zone. And I hope that perhaps maybe it'll click with me. And if not this one, then the next one will click. Jesus Christ. They even got a bass solo going on. You can tell they were inspired by like 80s and 90s speed metal. And I mean, when I say speed metal, I don't mean automatically like Sepultura. You know, like there's old school traditional metal bands that had some really, really fast riffs. And everybody in this band seems to be just on the peak of their game. But I don't think I like the songwriting very much. Yeah, there's also band is kind of a perfect example of there's different styles of versatile guitarist. For example, he's a shredder, right? He just knows how to shred up and down. But somebody like Bandmade is the complexity of rhythms, for example, how they're able to switch up rhythms, right? I'm just kind of ballpark kind of trying to explain what each of the guitar styles are. I'm not a professional by any means when it comes to that. But there's different styles of expressing how talented you are. And this is, I think, the more obvious or kind of on the surface kind of a choice. So yeah, he can play really fast. He can play all these kinds of notes. He must be really good. But I always liked a more riff-centric music and more rhythm, kind of creating interesting rhythms, more blues-oriented. That's kind of where I come into this kind of a band. Although, however, I can totally see where the fandom for this band comes from. I did Unlucky Morpheus, and I didn't particularly connect with that one. It was another Japanese band. Love Bites, I had like an on and off where I really liked some songs in the albums. Other ones I wasn't really crazy about. I had like an on and off relationship. Whereas this completely just kind of too left field. Yeah, I'm trying, guys. I'm really trying to like find things and pick things that kind of connect with me, and there's just zero. And again, it's not because it's bad. It's, for example, I think at some point I'm just going to get phased out, and I would even say to me this is boring. I find Dragon Force boring. I find Yngwie Malmsteen boring. And of course, there's another fan, or like Buckethead. I tend to find Buckethead boring too. Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. Like, I can't listen to those shredders just because to me that's not what's appealing about music. I like interesting songwriting. What I find interesting songwriting to be, right? Because how are we going to define that? It's going to be very different per each person. And even the person who mainly recommended this to me, Cepho, I think you suspected I wasn't exactly going to be in my wheelhouse. I think you were just interested to see what I was going to say, because I've mentioned it quite a few times. I don't like neoclassical, and it's like undeniable talent, but I just want something else. Almost feels like very one note. The whole song is just that speed just throughout the song. It was nice that they have somewhat change up by the end of it. It's like he's trying to start a fire in the guitar. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. If this is any indication of how the music is, I don't think it's for me. Because like all the things I've said, I'm pretty sure for the person who's enjoying this, it's absolute blasphemy. And it's like, how could you even say these kinds of things? But just again, this is the place I'm coming from. I'm coming from death metal, black metal, thrash metal, mainly genres that I kind of dive into. Some melodic death metal, well, not a lot of melodic death metal, some power metal, some symphonic metal. Depends if it's kind of more power chord heavy or it has some nice kind of almost thrashy riffs. Then I tend to enjoy that kind of power metal, which like Epica, or Iced Earth, Blind Guardian. Yeah, I never got the fascination with Dragon Force. Everybody through the fire and flames. Everybody was so impressed with that song, and I think I fell asleep like halfway through it. And I discovered it on Guitar Hero, like many people did back in the day, and just was like, man, this song sucks and it's hard. Anywho, guys, I'm gonna leave you with that. Sorry for the fans, especially. This was probably a hard video to watch, but remember, at the end of the day, it's just my point of view. We can disagree on this one and just kind of move on, maybe to something else that's perhaps we can have a more interesting conversation on, because I don't think I had a lot of insightful things to say here. Guys, make sure you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep it metal.